And I was like, oh, I feel like I've been listening to this for so long, and I love it so much that it's like almost already familiar. Alethia's wearing a Blonde Redhead shirt.
Hey, we're Rocket, and this is Crate Digging with Consequence.
Hi, I'm Alethia, and here are 4 records to get to know me by. My first record would have to be LP2 by Sunny Day Real Estate. That's, to me, is just like the best record ever. And we toured with them and got to see them play like 1 or 2 songs from it. All I want is for them to play that whole record front to back. It's perfect. There's so much emotion involved. And Jeremy's voice all over the record is it's just perfect. If there's any emotion I'm going through, if I put that record on, it matches. Like, if I'm happy, great. If I'm sad, great. If I'm angry, great. You know, any emotion it kind of like works for. Perfect for all seasons.
Hi, I'm Cooper, and these are some records to get to know me by. For my first record, I picked Starlite Walker by Silver Jews. I'm really obsessed with this record, and specifically Trains Across the Sea. It really has nothing to do with like my songwriting or like my drumming, because it's so opposite from that. But it's just one record that someone showed me like when I was like 16 or something. It just made me feel really good. It's just so beautiful. I love how people can take basic chords and put a really simple melody over it, but just make it really impactful. And I think that's something that this record really did for me. It's just beautifully written, and it's always just made me feel good, and I love listening to it.
Hi, I'm Baron, and these are a couple of albums to get to know me by. The Photo album by Death Cab for Cutie came out in like 2001, I think. My babysitter, when I was like 9 maybe, showed me Death Cab for Cutie for the first time. Now revisiting it, it's very sentimental, and it's very like intimate in a way, and I feel like he's talking a lot about his dad and like his family and childhood in a lot of the album, hence it's called like the Photo album. But there's some amazing riffs and amazing drumming on that album that like it kind of transcends being just like a sentimental album. It's just like a really good listen. There's some songs that are like really sweet and beautiful, and then there's songs that are like hit really hard and are catchy.
Hey, I'm Desi. The first one is Let It Be by The Replacements. I love that record. I think it's hilarious that it's called Let It Be. That album is, to me, like a turning point where they started to get like really, really good. Half that record is like them when they were still a punk band, and then the other half is them like writing better, more pretty and melodic songs. There's a lot of like very personal lyrics and topics that Paul Westerberg sings about. The song Answering Machine, which I think is the last song on the album, it's one of like the best songs of just like someone singing with a guitar. It's a really amazing song.
My next record would be Exile and Guyville by Liz Phair. She's so honest in her lyrics, and I think that was the first time that I heard lyrics on a record where I was like, whoa, like this feels so specific to her. And at first I was like, I know it's amazing. I was just like, I don't know if I get it. Time went on, and I kind of felt myself getting pulled back to it. Her voice and like her lyrics and everything are such like an earworm. Like, it'll get stuck in my head, and I'm like, ooh, this is so weird. She says things in a way that you're like, I feel like I've never heard it said like that before. It's just so sick to hear her kind of like be like, I don't give a shit what you think about me or what you think this record is gonna sound like. Like, here's what it is. And I don't care if that changes maybe your perception of like me as an artist or, you know, as a girl making music. She's just kind of like, here's what you get.
My next record is White Pepper by Ween. Everything is just so different. Like, you don't really know what to expect going through it. I think it's really cool that they're able to come up with so many different styles of music when you hear a record that like you don't think you'd care for, and then you find different genres of music that you actually do care for because a sick artist is making it.
The next one is First 2 7 Inches by Minor Threat. It was played for me the first time by a friend of mine when I was living in a boys' home in Montana, and there was a lot of emotion involved, and when it was played for me, it was like the perfect album that I could have listened to at that time. It was like full of anger and like rage, kind of echoed a lot of the feelings that I was having at the time, and it's short and sweet, and every single song is like super punchy and just like fast and energetic.
The next record is Steady Diet of Nothing by Fugazi. That's another band that is very special to me and changed my musical approach a lot. That's my favorite Fugazi album. The early ones are very straightforward, but the riffs on that album are just super cool. And it's like really rocky in a way, but still feels like early hardcore and like punk. Ian MacKaye and Guy Picciotto, like their guitar playing is always so opposing of one another, and you can really hear like who plays what, and they have really interesting styles that fit well together, which is something we always try to do. When I first listened to it, I think I listened to it for like a year straight, like every day.
Also one of my favorite records of all time, Gentle on My Mind by Glen Campbell. It's just perfect. You listen to it, and even if you don't know the song, you're like, this is a great song because of him. Like, his voice is just perfect. And he's also an incredible guitar player, and I think that is really awesome to see someone who's so talented at both of the things that they do.
The next record is In an Expression of the Inexpressible by Blonde Redhead, which was produced by John Goodmanson and Guy Picciotto from Fugazi. In a way, like, those bands are super similar. They're also so different, but I think like that kind of like meeting of the minds is so awesome to hear. There's a lot of really good like percussion grooves like interlocked with the drums. There's always like a great bass line, and the fact that there's only like 3 people in that band and they kind of will switch between like guitar and bass is really cool. When I first heard that record, there's almost like a retroactive influence. I was like, oh, I feel like I've been listening to this for so long and I love it so much that it's like almost already familiar. Alethia's wearing a Blonde Redhead shirt, and it's just a great record.
We're Rocket. Thank you, Consequence, and thank you, Gold Diggers. This has been great.